Hello students, welcome back to yet another interesting session of CBSE Class 10 Biology, Chapter 1 Life Processes. In the last class, we have learned about what are life processes, nutrition, nutrients and the different types of nutrition, that is the autotrophic and the heterotrophic nutrition. Hope you all remember it. For students who have not viewed the first session of this chapter, I will provide its link in the description box. Please do watch it. In today's session, we will be discussing only about the autotrophic nutrition, particularly about the process of photosynthesis. So let's move on to the topic. In the last class, we have already learned what is autotrophic nutrition. I will just recap it once more. Autotrophic nutrition is the mode of nutrition in which an organism, especially the green plants, can prepare their own food. And organisms which perform this type of nutrition are called autotrophs. So examples for autotrophs are green plants, blue-green algae, etc. So, from this definition about autotrophic nutrition, did you all understand that green plants can prepare their own food? Yes. So, do you know what is the name of that process by which green plants can prepare their own food are called? Yes, it's by the process of photosynthesis. And I think you might have learned from your smaller classes about photosynthesis. So, in simple words, photosynthesis is the process by which green plants can prepare their own food, that is, in the form of glucose, by using carbon dioxide and water in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll. And oxygen is released during this process. Here, the light energy is converted to chemical energy. And the equation for photosynthesis is as follows. 6CO2 plus 12H2O in the presence of chlorophyll and sunlight will give C6H12O6, that is the glucose, plus 6O2 plus 6H2O. Here, oxygen is released as a byproduct in this process. Do you know where actually this process of photosynthesis takes place in the plants? Yes, particularly in the leaves. To know this, first of all, let's understand the cross section of a leaf. If you carefully observe the cross section of a leaf under the microscope, we can notice the following. The uppermost layer of the leaf is called the upper epidermis. The upper epidermis is made up of closely packed rectangular shaped cells, and the upper epidermis is covered by a thick layer of cuticle. The cuticle forms the outermost covering of the leaf and it is waxy in nature. Followed by the upper epidermis is the middle layer called the mesophyll cell. The mesophyll cells is composed of a palisade layer and the spongy layer. The palisade cells and the spongy parenchymatous cells. And the mesophyll cells is followed by the lower epidermis. The mesophyll cells contain the chloroplast. The chloroplast contains the green pigment called chlorophyll, which imparts green color to the leaves, and we know that chlorophyll is essential for the process of photosynthesis. So now, did you understand, children, where actually the process of photosynthesis takes place in the plants? Yes, it's in the leaves, particularly in the chloroplast. You have also known that carbon dioxide is also required for the process of photosynthesis. Do you know how plants obtain carbon dioxide? The epidermis of the leaves contain tiny openings or pores called stomata. The singular form of stomata is called stoma. The stomata is covered by kidney-shaped guard cells on its either sides. The guard cells contain chloroplast, and these guard cells play an important role in photosynthesis. The guard cells help in the opening and closing of the stomatal pore, and therefore the guard cells play an important role in the process of photosynthesis. When the guard cells lose water from it, it shrinks each other, that is, it becomes flaccid, and therefore the stoma gets closed. Do you know for what reason the stomata gets closed? Since large amounts of water can also be lost through these stomata, the plant closes these pores, that is the stomatal pores, when it does not need carbon dioxide for photosynthesis. On the other hand, when the leaves are filled with water, the guard swells and become turgid, and the stoma gets opened. And as the stoma opens, the carbon dioxide enters the leaves. So the guard cells swell when water flows into them, causing the stomatal pore to open. Similarly, the pore closes if the guard cells shrink. So now we understood how carbon dioxide is obtained by the plants. Now let us understand how water is obtained by the plants. This all of you might know. Roots help in the absorption of water and minerals, especially minerals like nitrogen, phosphorus, iron, and magnesium from the soil. Here nitrogen is taken either as nitrates or nitrites, and the xylem transports the water to the leaves. So now we have clearly understood how carbon dioxide and water, the raw materials for photosynthesis, is obtained by the plants. So now it's clear for all of you how green plants trap the light energy from the sun and convert it into chemical energy. Let us now see the important events that occur during the process of photosynthesis. First point, absorption of light energy by chlorophyll. That is, the chlorophyll traps the light energy from the sun. Second point, conversion of light energy to chemical energy and splitting of water molecules into hydrogen and oxygen. And the last point, reduction of carbon dioxide to carbohydrates. Carbohydrates particularly in the form of glucose. Now we have to understand one more thing, that there are two types of leaves, monocot leaves and dicot leaves. Monocot leaves are usually seen in monocot plants and they are narrow, while dicot leaves, they are seen in dicot plants and these leaves are broader. In monocot leaves, the stomata are distributed evenly on the upper and the lower surface, while in dicot leaves, the stomata is found to be more on the lower surface when compared to the upper surface. Usually, the stomata remains open during the daytime and closes during the nighttime. But in some plants, usually the plants that grow in dry condition, especially the desert plants, the stomata remains open during the nighttime and closes during the daytime. This is because to save water, as these plants live in an area with dry condition, and if the stomata remains open during the daytime, there are more chances to lose large amount of water. So in order to save water, the stomata remains closed during the daytime in such plants. So now we have learned the process of photosynthesis. So let's recap quickly what we have learned today. We have learned the definition of photosynthesis, how plants obtain carbon dioxide and water for the process of photosynthesis, how stomata opens and closes. So this is about nutrition in plants. So in the next video, we will learn about heterotrophic nutrition. So that's it for today. See you in the next class. Thanks for watching.